Welcome to Peace in the Pandemic. This is coming out of me not liking struggle in my life, not like preferring it, but know that it always takes me into a great spot afterwards. And in the spirit of contributing and stepping out of some level of struggle, I got together some really magnificent people that I know and have met over time. And the first one I want to jump right in on, Craig Richards. I met through Tony Robbins. I had a major life transition and I jumped into an event because I heard that you could walk on hot coals. And I thought, what a great way to reboot myself than to walk on some hot coals with my bare feet and like let myself know how possible things are that I haven't conceived of yet. And Craig's a master of helping people make a little shift. And he helped me do that. And it's changed my life forever because of the way we pigeonhole ourselves in the way that we think. So Craig, welcome.
Hello there, everybody.
Tell us where you are and what time it is.
Okay, right now I am in Phuket, Thailand, and it's 11:04 in the evening here.
Oh, that's
so
great.
I'm excited to be with you all today. So, yep.
Can you tell us, could you define yourself if you had, I like asking this question, if you had one sentence only, how would you pare down and define who you are to us?
Well, for me, because of the meaning that I have in my life from all the changes that I've made, for me, the purpose of my life is to live a wealthy life in joy and happiness, with my family and my friends while making a difference in the world, in other people's lives.
Fantastic. How did you get into the career position that you were in?
Well, yeah, many of you maybe don't know, but I work with Tony Robbins for 25 years now, and I'm very grateful because I'm the only mentor that was trained by him personally for 8 of those years. And I share that with you just because I don't know if anyone here know Tony Robbins? Anybody familiar with him? Raise your hand, say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, a few people.
Hi, Craig.
Awesome. Hey. So I'm excited. So what happened is I made such a shift in my life, and just to give you an idea, at one time in my life, I thought that that I had such a low self-esteem, but I made so many wonderful changes. And I thought, wow, I'd love to work for this company, but they never hire me. That's how I felt before, and here I am 25 years later. So I'm very grateful to be able to be in a transformative position to be able to help people, take their lives to the next level. So before I go any further, first of all, I wanted to just stop for a second and I want to thank you for being here, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. First of all, to be able to share, right? So
yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for showing up. And I always love to remind you that you guys are the cream of the crop. Okay. Why I say that? Because you're taking action, you're moving your feet, you're not sitting by going, woe is me. You're trying to figure out, hey, how can I take my life to the next level? And so that not only will change your life, but you're going to make a difference in your family's lives, your friends' lives, because as you shift, you're able to help other people go to a new level too. So what I want you all to do is to just take your hand up, lift up your hand like this. Okay, everybody up, and just pat yourself on the back, honor yourself. Honor you guys. And so, and why I'm here, for me, I'm sure there are people that had way worse upbringings than me, but I was brought up by a single mother that worked 2 jobs, day and night. And I had a father. Well, actually, they told me my dad was dead until I was 13. So, because he had another family, so I wasn't allowed to know who he was. But as a result, I had the babysitter's son who would tell me I was no effing good every day, because I was just a little kid running around the house being a little kid, right? And this poor guy, he's a college student trying to study, and I was a pain in his ass. And so, but those kind of things, mess with your energy and mess how you feel, about yourself if somebody's telling you you're no effing good all the time. So, I've had many of those sort of experiences as a child. And as a result, I made it to a 7th grade education in school. I wanted to learn, I wanted to grow. I really tried to follow, but I was just so undisciplined. So I just didn't have a foundation of discipline. And, I was always just worrying, where's my mother? When am I going to see my mother? She's never home. She's I'm sleeping over babysitters' houses all the time and stuff. So, but as a result, I ended up, getting older and getting a job in the factory and painting and just working for a living. And I would come home at the end of the day and I would like, oh my God, this sucks. I mean, is this all there is to life? I'd mow the lawn and then I would have to go to bed and do it all over again. And then one day my boss, he had sent me to a seminar and I got some new ideas and I thought, oh my God. So I thought, well, success leaves clues. So I thought, well, I have 2 arms, I have 2 legs and a head, just like them. I said, how come some people are successful, they're wealthy, they have lots of time, they're enjoying a quality of life, and why does my life suck? I need to figure this out. Does God have favorites? I don't think so. And so as a result, I went on a massive integration of, just studying, learning, and I enrolled into many different seminars. Tony Robbins was one of my biggest pivots. When I went in there, he taught me that, hey, you have great ideas, but guess what? You keep blocking yourself. You're blocking yourself and you're not following through. You get the idea, but then you talk yourself out of it. And so because of fear or worry or whatever it might be, you don't think you're good enough. And he said, all we have to do is remove those blocks. And then guess what? Then you feel like when you first came into the world, before you had any conditioning, you're just happy, you're present, you can make anything happen in life. That's how you feel, right? When you're kids, you feel like you're Superman or Superwoman or, Spider-Man, whatever your figure was back then.
You don't just think it, you are Superman and Spider-Man.
Yes, exactly. Yep, I had the cape too. But when I went through the neighborhood, the kids made fun of me and bullied me. So it was like, oh, shoot, maybe I shouldn't do that, But as a result of getting rid of all these blocks, that's why I'm in Phuket, Thailand today. I live in a beautiful home, 3 stories overlooking the Andaman Sea. I met my wife and Tony has a program called Mastery University, and I designed my ultimate dream life in there. Actually, Life Mastery starts today, actually virtual for, I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but he has a Life Mastery that's starting today, virtual. It's going to go for the next 4 days. And, but I designed my ultimate dream life in there. And it was to live on an exotic island, turquoise water, summertime all year round, have a home on the beach where I can lay in bed and watch the sun come up out of the water in the morning, be married to a woman that just didn't have a pretty face, but was entrepreneurial, who loved herself. And, I didn't want somebody needy because I fell in love with myself and I didn't need anybody to make me happy. So I designed a woman that would be just like me, who loved herself and didn't need anybody. And so 2 people that have a lot to give can give to each other instead of trying to get into the relationship to take. And so as a result, I met my wife, I dated her 4 days. While I was dating her for those 4 days, I elicited her beliefs, her values and rules to make sure she was in alignment. And I proposed to her on the 4th day. We were married on the 7th day. And we have now 19 years under our belt with 4 beautiful children we made together. And it's the best relationship both of us have ever had. So, this is the kind of things that happen. Like before, I was struggling, life sucked. And so the reason why I share that is, there's light. Just because you don't have the life you want doesn't mean you can't have it. Or maybe you have the life you want, but you're ready to go to the next level. There's always another level, you can go there. But the key here is always to be happy, to enjoy the journey. That's the main thing, which brings us to what's going on in COVID, right? And everybody's locked down. You can't go out to restaurants. You're told to wear masks, and all this stuff. And it's like a pain in the ass, so to say. And so, we want to try to do the best we can with what we have. And so for myself, lockdown, I'd get in my boat and I would go out to the islands and I would be locked down with my family, isolated. There's no signs on the island that says you can't be there. And we would go in my boat and we would go and hang out and just play and have some fun. And that's what we did. We got out, we got vitamin D from the sun. We heard that was really wonderful to have that. That's healing, and the heat is healing. And so to get outside, and we'd go snorkeling and we'd have a picnic on the beach. And let me see something here real quick, see if I could do this without.
Yeah, I saw some fabulous pictures of Craig and his family.
Screen
Very
sharing.
colorful.
You have to unlock the screen sharing if you want me to show any pictures. If not, you can always go on my Craig Richards Facebook and look at them too.
I think
As I'm
it's
host
okay.
disabled participant screen sharing. I don't know if your Ashley can unlock it or not. But
Ashley, can you unlock that?
Apologies. I'm sorry. I'm trying to right now.
Okay.
That's okay. All right. No worries. Just let me know when you get it done. Just give me a high five and say something. For me, I just wanted, for me, the main thing today is I thought, well, how can I serve you? Okay. Because we're all going through this together. All right. And you might be there, I'm over here, but we're all in this together. And so what I want to do is I just wanted to share with you some ideas on things that helped me, because I've done massive studying. I've gone in and just totally entrenched myself for hours of training and listening. And so I want to share with you a few tidbits of what I learned that's helping me to make it through this time. Because, the key is sure, we're going through this, but we still have to be happy and fulfilled. It
Craig.
doesn't matter what's going on. No money, no job. You can't go out. It's like everybody's bitching and moaning at each other. And it's like, hey, that's not going to do anything, right? So,
Craig, can you hear me? You had mentioned that you've had some major economic transitions in this last year. So you are in this boat right now. What you're saying about. You are experiencing it, and you're using what you're going to share with us.
Yes, exactly. And so, I guess one of the main things that helped me is, to just put things into a certain perspective. Okay. Because, we've just got to face it. All right. And I know for me, I'm one that avoids and doesn't want to deal with it. I just want to go have fun. But the number one thing is no one is going to come and rescue you. You came here for a motivation today, right? How much motivation is that? But no one is going to come and rescue you. You have to realize that. You just have to say, shit, all right? So you just must face it, okay? You can complain, you can distract yourself, but you have to work through it. And this is what life's about. That's how life is. A problem shows up. Until you deal with it, that pattern is going to keep showing up somewhere. Everybody thinks, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. No, it's not. The grass is greener where you water it. So if you have a challenge right now, then we've got to work on that. We've got to water that challenge. Tony Robbins always says where your focus goes, your energy flows. And so it's important to really, just take a hold of that idea and say, okay, I do have a problem. I do have to deal with it. I can't just keep avoiding it and hoping the government's going to take care of me or my company's going to take care of me, because everything's changing. That I don't know if any of you have read that book, Who Moved My Cheese? The world is changing right now. It's a new world. So people are losing their jobs, their careers. Some people are keeping their jobs, but things are shifting for them. So, and then, the key here is then it's like, okay, well, if you're going to go for it now, right? And it's like, oh my God, well, what if I fail? I mean, I'm older. For me, it was like, I thought, oh man, I'm older now. I put all this energy and all this time into it. And, you might say, well, I'm too young, or you might say, I don't have the experience, or, whatever it is for you. But I heard this made such a difference to me. And I use this now. I claim this as mine. I call it failing forward. Because I have a big ego. Oh, I work for Tony Robbins. I live on Thailand, and I feel like, oh, it's so significant sometimes. And then I'm like, hey, stop that. Step into your power, Craig. You know what? We're all one. We all have our, ways that we serve and we care and we share. And so for me, it was like to knock my ego down. I just had to say, all right, guess what? You're going to do some new things and you're going to fail, Craig. You spent years of developing your craft. But guess what? Now it's time for you to grow and go to a new level. And your comfort zone goes, what are you doing? I don't want to change. I want to just stay back here. And so, this is why I adopted failing forward, because that's how we learn. We have to fail. Think about when you first rode a bike, right? You remember when you rode a bike your first time? You get on your bike and you're like, whoa, and you fall over. And then you get on your bike, and before you know it, you know how to ride a bike very well, and you never forget it again. And so that's how we learn. So we just have to accept that. So number one is we have to realize that, hey, you know what? Nobody's going to come save us. And, we do have to realize that in order to learn, we have to go through some trial and error. There's going to be failure, but failure is a good thing. Spanx. I don't know if any of you have heard of Spanx. Very, very successful, wealthy woman. She said when she was being brought up, her father in the family every day would get them when they'd come home and say, what did you fail on today? I want to know what you failed on. He would get them to look forward to failing, because every time you fail, you learn something new. So it's actually a good thing. It's like, wow, I failed at this today. And then you learn. And sometimes it hurts, but that's how you get the lesson, right? And so that's why that's really important. So what I'd like you to do is grab a piece of paper or on your computer, all right? And I'm going to do a little process with you. And you all know how to do this. This is going to be wonderful, because you can actually extract this and use this now to help you through these times. So what I'd like you to do is to remember a time when you had a major challenge in your life. So go ahead. I see some people getting paper, so I'll give you a minute. And so what we're going to do is we're going to remember a time that you had a major challenge in your life, something that you really wanted, but man, it was like, it seemed like you couldn't even get it, but you worked hard and you made it happen. So what you do is just think of one thing right now and write it down on your paper. Go ahead. One thing that was a major challenge, something you wanted to bring into your life, and you thought, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but you ended up doing it. And you were so proud of it afterwards. You're like, oh my God, I did that. So get one thing, write it down. And then what I'd like you to do now is, energy is very important in this process. So sit up in a peak, like we call it a peak state, where you sit up, you put your shoulders back, put a smile on your face, and just close your eyes for a minute, okay? Close your eyes. And what I want you to do is go back there. Remember that time. Remember the time when you were there and you were trying to figure out how to make this happen, okay? How did you use your body when you were making this happen? Were you standing strong? Were you just making things happen and pushing through it? How did you move? You know, were you just like taking action and making things happen? And then, so see it, feel it, hear it now. How did you actually move your body? Did you sit up straight? Were you strong? Were you breathing heavy? You know, how did you use your body? So what I want you to do is just keep that in your mind now. And then what were the things you were picturing during that time? When you were going through that challenge and you made it through, what were you picturing? Was there an end result, a goal that you had in order to make this, what it was going to mean to you, what it was going to give to you, how it was going to make you feel proud about yourself, your family? See it, feel it, hear it now. And make a note of that in your mind, okay? What you were picturing. And then what were you saying to yourself? What were the things you were saying to yourself while you were going through this? Were you saying, oh my God, I just need to get this. If I get it, man, then I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to be so happy. People are going to be proud of me. I'm going to be proud of myself. I'm going to be able to make so much money, or I'm going to have so much more time to enjoy life. Whatever it is for you, what were you saying to yourself? And so now what I'd like you to do is to open your eyes and write those down on your paper. Okay. Write down what you were feeling. How are you using your body? What were you picturing in your mind? And what were you saying to yourself during that challenging time? So one of the things my main mentor, Tony Robbins, taught me is that a recipe, this is called a recipe. And if you have a recipe that works, then you can reapply that recipe, understanding that it's okay to fail, and understanding that, hey, we just need to deal with life now. This is it. We have to go through this, or things aren't going to get better. We must, just deal with it. And so what you can do is that recipe that you just wrote down, if you have you want to create a new career, maybe your relationship you want to make better, whatever it is, you can apply how you used your body, the things you focused on, and the things you were saying to yourself in that new situation. And it will help you to see, feel, and hear in a way that gives you, because your physiology is what's most important, and how you use your body, what you're saying to yourself, and what you're seeing. So this is a recipe that you can apply now while you're going through your challenge. So this is something that I've known this for years, but while I'm going through this COVID thing, things have been shifting for me financially. I mean, I can't rent any of my places out here on the island, no fishing trips on the boat or tours, or, none of this stuff going on. All my loan companies dried up. Nobody's paying their loans, no rentals. All this stuff is gone. My company, Tony Robbins, has gone virtual and changed a lot of our work because we used to go to every event and work there. And, you know, all this stuff has shifted. And so we've got to reapply these tools. So I brought this recipe and I'm using it forward now. Okay, how did I used to like, okay, put myself in a peak state, get energized, feel good. Okay, I need to do this, take action. And then what did I picture? All right, I would see my family and how wonderful, you know, their life is going to be affected and how I'm going to get to help people and make a difference in their lives. And then, you know, so that's what I would picture. And then I would say to myself, Craig, you're an amazing soul. You know, you're awesome. You can do it. You can do it. Just past doesn't equal the future. It's what you do this day that takes you to the next day. You know, that's going to take you to the next level. So, you know, these are just to give you an example of some of the things that, you know, I used that really helped me to, you know, to take it to the next level. So,
Craig, I have a question.
Yes, Ann.
So do you find overall that when you're not feeling great, having some sort of movement, it just makes a big difference, whether it's a movement in your thoughts, a movement in your body, just that sometimes when we say taking action, people think you've got to jump up and start, you know, pounding on things, but taking action can be as simple as making some decisions.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you said that because today was one of those days where I took no action today. You know what I did? I was out on the speedboat yesterday. We went to the islands. I swam so much yesterday. We saw sharks, we saw fish. I mean, I had one person that had a challenge. They were getting tired because they were swimming against the current and they were panicking and I had to rescue them. And so it was a lot of energy yesterday. And I thought, well, today I'm going to be in a peak state. I'm going to be taking action. I got all these things to do. And today, you know what? I said, you know what? Today I need to just chill out. I made a decision, not about jumping up and down and running all around and making things happen. Sometimes you need to just get centered again. You need to trust and just get centered and allow, you know, your feelings and your guidance. I don't care what you believe religious wise, but you know, we're spiritual beings having an earthly experience. So I like to believe that. And, you know, I like to just let go sometimes and just trust, and then something will come to me that's going to lead me and guide me. Are you with me?
Yeah, to give yourself an opportunity to actually hear.
Exactly.
To hear your
Perfect.
direction.
Yes.
Does
That's
anybody
perfect.
have a question for Craig? You could put your hand up, keep yourself muted unless you have a question. But
What I do is just hang on to your questions for just a minute, write it down, okay? Or type it into the chat. I just want to share a couple more tidbits with you. I know we're getting close to the end, so
well,
I
you're
wanted to
good.
give you
You
a
have,
couple of
you have
them,
6
if that's
minutes.
okay.
Yes.
Just some quick bullet points. Next week, I'm going to do some processes, okay, that I do with my clients, things I've learned from Tony and other sources. And if you're on next week on Thursday at 10 a.m., I'll be there again, and I'm going to take this to a whole new level. So, but just real quick, make sure that you're hanging with people that are empowering. Stay away from the negative complainers, okay? Get away from them because they'll infect you. Get a support system, okay? Watch videos. You're here today. That's what it's all about. Get a coach, somebody that knows. You don't have to reinvent the wheel because they've already figured it out. They can guide you and save you lots of time. It's an amazing investment. Most important, you want to have an empowering meaning. So you want to write down your meaning. What's most important? You know, what's my meaning for making a shift? That's going to be important. We're going to do some processes on that next week. And then what am I most grateful for in my life? Because if you're writing down, I don't care if you say, I have nothing to be grateful for. Oh, I can speak English. I'm breathing. It's another day above ground. You know, I'm grateful. I have clothes. I mean, I have food on my table. You know, just write whatever you're grateful for, because you can't, you know, if you can't be depressed and upset if you're grateful. So these are a couple of things. So, and make sure you're exercising. You've got to exercise. Our bodies were meant to do that. We need to have exercise. We're not farmers anymore. Years ago, where we had to do it naturally. Now we sit around on computers and talk and push your computer, your keyboard. And that's not giving you the endorphins you need. So you must get out, walk, do something, lift some weights. And then the last one is eat healthily. Try to eat a lot of greens, you know, try to eat some healthy food. Okay. So Wanted to share those tidbits with you so you have a lot of things to work on, just some tools today. What questions do you have?
Well, that was fantastic. So you were talking about basically our whole being. You were speaking about how we need to have a plan, and you just described a recipe. And I hope you guys wrote that down. And then you talked about, how we felt, how picturing how we were moving, how our body felt, what we were envisioning for ourselves, and what we were saying about ourselves in our
Yes.
peak moments in life, and going back to
Right.
that because we have a memory for it,
Yes.
which is wonderful. We have never, none of us have been in a situation where we have had no success. So you can go back to a template that already worked for you. And then
Yes.
it's so important right now to make sure that you're surrounded by a fantastic group of people. If you look at the group of people that you're in and they're not going mentally in the direction or physically in the direction, or they're not compatible with the direction that you'd like to go, you really need to surround yourself with a group of people who are, or help elevate that group.
Exactly.
And take that group with you as a leader.
Yes, you
And
can do
then,
that.
and then you mentioned how important coaching is. I know all the people that I really admire in life who are really operating on a high level, they have people above them who are lifting them higher and higher. And some of the people I know have coaches and they have coaches. They have multiple coaches because each coach has a specialty that they can offer that person. So, when we're younger, we have teachers, we have parents, we have mentors, and when we get older, sometimes we need to seek those professionals out. And Craig is one example of a person that could help coach you, and then have empowering meaning in your life, and then just being grateful on a daily basis. You can walk around in appreciation for so
Yes.
many things. I love getting
That's the
my,
main thing, to
I love,
really appreciate, where you're at, regardless of what you're going through, because it's not about money. If you have a lot of money, you're going to be miserable. If you have a lot of money and you're not happy, it just magnifies it more. But, the key is to be happily enjoying the journey. So, if, I shared with Ann that I would offer a complimentary strategy session. So if any of you want that, you can hit me up on Craig Richards, coaching@gmail.com. or Craig Richards Coaching, on Facebook. Just send me a note, say, Craig, I'd love to take advantage of that. Let's take a look and see, what's going on in my life right now and how we can, take it to the next level. See if we're a fit. Maybe I can support you. Maybe I can't. I don't know who you are. So,
can you give
but I'm
us those,
excited.
can you give us those contacts again, CraigRichards.com, or is it Craig Richards Coaching?
Craig Richards Coaching@gmail.com. So very easy. My name at coaching, Craig Richards Coaching @gmail.com. And then there you go. She just posted it for us in the chat. And then also on Facebook is Craig Richards Coaching. Just look it up in there and you can click on and send me a message there. And I'll connect with you and we'll make a time that works for both of us too.